Yes, I am starting now. Welcome to the man of thought. Please, help me tell that our daughter to keep her mouth quiet. Welcome to the man of thought, aka the villain of truth, aka the Black Panther of Nigeria. Should I start over? Maybe I should. Maybe I shouldn't. Let's see how it goes. Leke, let me give my audience some few minutes to join me because we have a subject we have to finish on. Yesterday we did not finish on the subject. So today we have to finish on that subject. La Masikapa. And the subject we are going to be talking about is why you should stay away or stay with your men. And I'm specifically putting that message to the South African people, but it also affects both the Western people who are always looking at Nigerian men and they are chasing after Nigerian men. Wait, today we are going to discuss extensively on a different scale. Ọlọ́run máa jẹ́ gbogbo ẹ lọ. Ọlọ́run máa jẹ́ kó lọ bẹ́ẹ̀. Yeah, welcome. If you're just joining me, welcome to the Man of Thought, aka the Black Panther of Nigeria, aka the Villain of Truth. I am waiting for my audience to join me because today we have an important subject we want to talk. It's just the continuation of our talk yesterday. But I would always try to make my subject interesting, you know. I try. I always try. But while we wait for those who are going to be patient and joining me for today, for those who are going to be joining me today, I would appreciate the moment you are joining, please subscribe. By now, if the amount of people who come and check me on YouTube are always subscribing, by now I should have been in almost 10,000 subscribers. But majority of people don't. Mélòó la fẹ́ kà léyìí àdúgbò le àmọ́ mẹ́ta rẹ̀ Ọlọ́run alárùkà wò dára o after many years awakahaboku eventually to better democracy. We have 4 people joining me live. Please, I like you to join and then click like, subscribe if you haven't subscribed. Let's see how today's conversation is going to go. This is what they call alligator pepper. Namaste. The reason why I wasn't talking to you was basically because I was chewing alligator pepper. So welcome, thanks for joining. We have 10 people right now joining me live. And if you haven't subscribed, please do subscribe. I would love us to try and support today. And I'm not going to make it compulsory, but at least to a certain degree, I would appreciate those who are going to be joining me live today for everybody to give me a thumbs up. I never knew thumbs up was very important, but as time goes on, I begin to hear from the YouTube, and I understood the YouTube algorithm that thumbs up actually matters a lot. So I would appreciate those who are joining me live while we go into today's conversation. Please like. It is very important. Show some love. Do not be greedy. Maliko Sundaya. We have a few subjects we are going to be treating today. This Raja, How is India? How is India doing? I trust me, I know you like and you subscribe. I appreciate. Yeah. I would have loved to ask you a few questions, but basically, because if I start with the question, I might not be able to dive into the subject that we have today. I would love to ask you a few things, but that is not going to be today. Possibly in our next conversation, I will try to ask you a few things about India because we have certain conversations here yesterday and yesterday or so a few days ago, and one of my audience said certain things about India, and I was like, I never knew India to be that place, but I would make few inquiries, and I expect her to write to me. So maybe you can be of an help also in helping somebody to navigate certain things. But today we are going to be discussing on a different subject. Please, if you haven't subscribed, those of us who are joining me, over 14 people joining me live, Ejo, Ọlọ́run ni mo fi ń bẹ̀ yín. I am begging you in the name of God. Please show me some thumbs up. Show some thumbs up. Oh, before we dive fully into today's conversation. Yeah, I'm waiting. I'm waiting for you guys. Do support the channel. Or did I come live on the wrong time? Am I supposed to come around 9? This is 8 o'clock p.m. Yeah. So I expect people to be able to be on live, support the channel. We have 11 people joining me live, and it seems as if we are not ready for today. Only Visraja has shown me one like. Those people who are joining me who haven't shown like, are you discouraging me? Are you trying to discourage me? How long do we wait? Because when you begin to show thumbs up, it begins to notify other audience who are not receiving direct notification to be able to join. Because if you are not supporting them, that means there's a possibility I want to come back by 9 p.m., maybe when people are live. Are they playing football today? Please, is there football this thing going on today? Anyone can please tell me. Are they playing any sensible football today? Because it seems that people are not mostly on live when they are playing football. People are already engaged with their TV, their DSTV, and the rest of it. If you want me to continue on today's topic, please, I would need some thumbs up. No thumbs up, no talking. No thumbs up, no talking. The legend says Somali guy. Are you Somali or are you saying I am Somali? Please, we have 18 people joining me live. Please show thumbs up so it can send. I'm not. I'm from Nigeria. I'm from Nigeria. I'm not a Somalian. Please show some likes. I'm not talking about love. I'm talking of likes. Unfortunately, those people who shows love and all those things, I don't really see those things, and it doesn't truly count. What matters is the thumbs up, because the thumbs up determines if the algorithm is going to push the message and how far they are going to push the message. Okay, we have 2 likes right now. I appreciate that. Please, let's try and make it 5 so we can have conversation today. Hmm? So we can continue with today's conversation. Can we make that possible? We have 26 people joining me live right now. We have 3. So 2 more to go. For the 26 people joining me live, I would appreciate 2 more people so we start the conversation. Let's not be greedy. Oh, good evening, everyone. Who the truth, welcome. Thank you for joining. Please, I am begging you all, for those who are joining, show thumbs up, show like. It helps the algorithm to notify other people. I never knew it was that important, but I actually got some notification, some stuff, some advice, and they said for the channel to be able to take the message a little bit far, we have to always ask for thumbs up because it helps the algorithm. Thanks for joining Who the Truths. We are going to be having a conversation, and this conversation has to do with the previous conversation we had yesterday. And because of the previous conversation we had yesterday, we would continue from that particular angle, and I would like to hear most people's insights while I say my piece, part of my opinion, part of my view, perspective that can be useful to others. So please do join. We have 2 to go. And today's topic is about why you should stay with your men. And the men I'm talking about is why, if you are from a culture, if you're from a tradition, if you're from the Western world, why you should stay with your men. More or less like we have a situation of a lot of people complaining that, oh, they love Nigerian guys, and sometimes there's a backlash from their people. And you see, there's a difference when people are having relationship stuff, and you kind of fall in love with a Nigerian guy, or you fall in love with South African guy, whatever guy. Once you are in love with people, that's not a problem. The problem is that when you begin to push a narration that Nigerian guys are the best guys all over the world, it seems, in my view, that you are diminishing your guys. Let us date Nigerian men because they have money, because they take good care of their women. We begin to debate it and devalue our own people. And yesterday, when we spoke about few things, I talked about part of the qualities that Nigerian men have that most men may probably not have, which is we encourage people who are from other countries to have those things. That was what the conversation was all about. Thank you, everyone who have been able to show likes. I really do appreciate it. Thank you very much. So we had this conversation yesterday, on part of the things that Nigerian men have, which we touched on: the confidence of Nigerian men, charming personalities, generosity, romantic gesture, cultural appeal, sense of responsibility, spiritual connection. We talk about ambition, family values, openness to love, financial stability, not intimidated by a woman with financial success, adventurous spirit, sense of humor, and commitment to relationship. And maybe these are part of the things, or some of the things, that a lot of women consider and make them gravitate towards Nigerian men. And I am also encouraging other men in different country, Western country, or in African countries, to be able to adopt some of these qualities. At least you can't deny the fact that it is a Nigerian guy that is telling you. So you don't consider all Nigerian men to be evil. So we are educating you, part of our strategies, part of the things that make us who we are, that you can adopt it. But today's conversation is kind of different. Today's conversation is, I will be telling you why you should stay with your men. And I'm not saying you don't go after Nigerian men. I'm not saying you don't fall in love with Nigerian men. No, that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying that do not make it a trending topic. Do not make it a viral stuff. Because sometimes these are the things where we start listening to xenophobia. That's how xenophobia always starts. When all the women in a particular community or country begins to gravitate towards a man from another nation, and you guys begin to chase another nation man, all of you think that is the way of life. At the end of the day, you cause how do they say, confusion between the men, and before you know, the men begin to perceive each other as enemy. Are you getting it? Then some of them will not tell you that it is because of their women are gravitating towards Nigerian men. Some of them will use excuses like, it's because they are coming to take our jobs. It's because they are opening too many business. We, the locals, are not enjoying our government. You wouldn't know that the primary reason was basically because all their women are gravitating towards Nigerian men. I know I am making sense. So with that being said, I have 10 people joining me live right now, and let's continue with the conversation. Now, like I said earlier, I was touching on why you should stay with your men rather than gravitating towards Nigerian men. And when I use the word gravitate, all I mean is, if you shouldn't make it a trending subject by belittling your own men and gravitating towards Nigerian men. I am a Nigerian man, and I am happy, I am glad, I am proud of the fact that people gravitate towards Nigerian men. In fact, it is a pride for us, regardless of every stigma that has been given to us, regardless of the names that people use to diminish us as humans, regardless of this fact, most women gravitate towards African or Nigerian men specifically. When we go to the Western culture, most of the black women there, they love us. When we go to UK, most of the black and the white women there, they love us. There is no country that I have seen that the women in that country do not love African men, or specifically Nigerian men. But you have to also understand as women that you have certain responsibility as people to protect your lineage. Those are part of the things I'll be talking. Thank you for joining me, Vivex Viswa. Hello, thanks for joining. Please, I would like your thumbs up. Those of my audience who specifically used to support me and who contribute to our conversation, please, I would appreciate you all to give me a thumbs up to help the algorithm. So that's what today's subject is all about. And first of all, while we dive into it, I will be making, I think I have about 8 lists, and then we will be able to listen from our own perspective what we can contribute to it. Now, I said something, I said, why should Western women? Why should South African women? Why should Kenya women? Why should Cote d'Ivoire women? Why should Congo women? Why should any Zambia, Gambia, whatever? Why should they love their men than making Nigerian men a trending topic and they belittle their men? One of the things that we are going to be touching on is the idea of cultural similarities. Who the Truth is asking a question. Before I move to the subject fully, Who the Truth was asking a question. He said, my question here is it their men that has to step up to their women need to play a major role in building their men? That's a tough one. But here's how I'm going to debunk it. I think that every man have their cultural values and things, the perception they use in viewing life. Now, Nigerian men, we naturally have our own charisma, and that charisma is kind of attractive. Now, when we spoke about the subject, sometimes ignorance can be very powerful also. And some people might not understand the ignorance. You know, yesterday when we are touching on the idea of why people gravitate towards Nigerian men, someone was talking about the idea that a lot of them kind of use drugs, or some of them will take alcohol to have confidence to approach their women. And then they think they are going to be sounding like confidence, but they sound very stupid. And there are many, there are many things that is attached to it. Sometimes it's about awareness. Some people are truly not aware because they actually have little ways of viewing life, little scope of how they view life. Now, according to your question, is should it be the work duty of a man to start encouraging their women and be those kind of people so that they can build up the other men? I think that it goes in many ways. I think that most women in many countries, when they belittle their men because they've seen certain individuals who sound like angels to them, they would spread that message, and before you know, most women within that country begin to despise their own men. Who the Truth? Thank God that you are a Nigerian man. So I don't know your culture, but in Africa, in Nigeria specifically, our women had a mentality of how they view men and how we view relationship, until I want to call a tribe. I'm not tribalistic, but I will call a tribe, until most of them start getting too much impressed by the Igbos financially. When they start getting enticed financially by women, by Igbos, before you know, there was a time in our nation that almost all our women were gravitating towards Igbo men, simply because of finances. It wasn't because, before most of them start making decision to turn back, it was when some people begin to realize. And the Igbo, what did you call it? We have Nollywood, and in the Nollywood, they begin to show all these Mba movies and the rest of it. And in the Mba movie, we start realizing that in the movie that they were portraying about the Igbos is that Igbos were wealthy and they were using people for rituals. They would use their mother for rituals. They would use their wife for rituals. Now, the narration the Igbos begin to paint among themselves as wealthy, that's now awakening a lot of our Nigerian women to realize that, oh, it is not about money. We need to love our men for who they are, the other tribes and other men, rather than focusing on just the Igbo men because of their success. So the same thing is applicable. Most women in other countries right now are gravitating towards Nigerian men, specifically because Nigerian men have confidence. Nigerian men have certain attributes that they actually value. And I'm not saying Nigerian men are not qualified. Nigerian men are absolutely qualified. And I even appreciate the fact that we dominate in the idea that women appreciate us. But the problem is that if we are not careful of all these things, this is how we start hearing things of xenophobia. Sometimes the reasons why we push out narration that is the reason why we are fighting each other is not basically because of the reasons we put out to the world. Something beneath it might be the major thing that is causing the problem. I was in a place in Lekki at some point. A lot of people lose their life. A lot of people die because there was these two tribe cultures. We call them these Cotonou people, which are Egun and Nigerian. They were staying in Lekki, a place where they call Bame. And what spring up this fight? It was simply because a Yoruba guy and an Igbo lady, they were eating Indomie of 700 naira with egg. And a Cotonou guy had certain issue, wanted to toast the girl from the Nigerian guy. And before you know, they burnt a lot of houses, a lot of people died. It became a war between the Nigerians and the Cotonous. It wasn't good. This happened around 2015, 2016. So most times women are very easy to, when one particular woman dates a Nigerian, for example, and she feels love, and then she tells other women, most of them would not understand that that particular Nigerian man that is dating their friend and is having good relationship with her is a sincere and committed human being. Then most of them will now take that same narration and they begin to spread it and they begin to belittle their men, not because their men are not qualified, not because the South African men are not good men enough, but they start finding every reason to despise them. If we in Nigerians want to despise our women, we have many things to say to hate our women. If you find a reason to hate somebody, you would see countless of reasons to hate the person. And it has become a trending subject for most of them to despise their men, saying that, oh, it's all about Nigerian men. But they need to understand beyond the idea of the trending subject that they are not doing their due diligence. Because when you say Nigerian men, do you mean all Nigerian men or some Nigerian men? And if they get blinded by that, we can start having issues if we are not telling each other the truth. So what I'm trying to do here is to awaken the consciousness of the South African women to understand that their men are also good enough. They don't have to focus all their attention on the Nigerian men, or else they will fall inside gutter, yakata, and they will be disappointed. So part of the reasons why most Western women or most Western people needs to find a way to build the relationship with their men, first of all, they have to look at cultural similarities. And what do I mean by the word cultural similarities? Cultural similarities in the sense that you have people who you actually understand your culture. Most people would live peacefully if Nigerian men had not come. Most of them wouldn't have complained if Nigerian men, if they are not seeing Nigerian men. Maybe because some of these Nigerian men who go over there, they have too much money. And then you see one Nigerian man finds himself in the club and he spends more money than the men in your country. But if you understand the cultural values that you share with your people, you should understand that this person is just a stranger passing by. And a stranger who is passing by may most likely go to the next country very soon. So your cultural similarities that you understand yourself, use that to understand that I want to create children that we can preserve our culture. Because if you decide to date a Nigerian man, and if we take you serious, we most likely will want you to follow our own culture and traditions. It's simple. You can't make a decision to say that you want to date a Nigerian man, and a Nigerian man will tell you that you have to follow through his traditions and culture, and then you are going to say no. And that's what I tell people. If you're in the Western world, I do not care your billions. I do not care your millions. I do not care your success, your financial success. Have the whole money on the surface of this earth. If you make a decision to deal with someone like me, you have to follow my culture and traditions regardless of financial differences. I don't care your education factor. If you like, let them be keeping library in your head. You should be the most educated human being on the surface of this earth. If per adventure we get to a bridge, and that bridge is that I want to preserve my culture and traditions because I understand certain facts that has to do with my ancestors, and we have certain rules and principles that we live by. You should know that these are the non-negotiable facts with most Nigerian men, not all, most Nigerian men. Not true, my brother. Not true. You sef, you know, say not true with the talk. So cultural similarities, you have to understand that you have a similar culture with that person, the men within your country, and it is good to preserve your culture. Now, some of you might think that you have to come to Nigeria to, if you're willing to do that, alhamdulillah. Then you have to also look at the shared language. Shared language in a sense that, do not think, you know, most of these people who meet up with Nigerian men, some of them do not understand that Nigerian men, when we look at you, even if we did not hear your language, as long as you have what we want, if the thing is like korodom, and I know you know the meaning of korodom, some people call it figure eight, but once the thing is big, and that is what Nigerian man wants, your language would not be a barrier to us. We will find a way to communicate. Nigerian men, we can learn anything. Within few minutes, Nigerian man can learn anything as long as he's invested in it. But when he's tired of getting that thing from you, he would say that we are not languagely compatible. And because our language is not compatible, when I come, you know what I mean by come? When it comes, you go. So there are language barriers. And if you understand that you are not flowing, because some of these South African women who are saying they love Nigerian men, some of you don't understand that we don't like, there's this language barrier. Kusumu kunu, Allah Quinsenda, all these things you have said, we might appreciate it in the first place when we get it, because we know that the South African women are actually beautiful women. We know that the Western women are actually beautiful women. But in the idea of the Western women, there are most perceptions we have as Nigerian men with the Western women. The Western women have to prove, I don't say they should prove it to us, but they have to show, in a sense, that, you know, they also love their men and they respect their men. Because, and it is out of your language, the people you respect. And if men within those communities shows that you respect them, we would know that you're a respectful person and we want to associate ourselves with you. And then we might be truthfully committed to having relationship with you. And that will be on a pure level of love, not on the level of you just admiring us. Because if you're just admiring us, you might fall into the gutter. Leke. So shared language, you share the same language with your people. And that is also something that you have to look at. Don't just get lost by because we spend money in the bar. Then the second one is common values. Let me not so much move on that, because Nigerian men, just because we are in a moment of fashion or we're in the moment of partying right now, if you are also in the club life with us, it is fine. But always trust me that most Nigerian men, when it comes to relationship, we are serious. Emiron, thank you for joining. Dear my guy, found you for today. I'm subscribing now. Thank you. So you have to understand that there are common values. And if in the Nigerian perspective, you are having relationship with us and we understand that there are no common values, maybe it's just because we met each other in the club and you are not willing to understand our ways and to understand that just because we are moving through the journey of our life and trying to make money and create businesses here and there, that doesn't mean that we are willing to actually succumb to your ways of life. So there should be common values. The second thing is patriotism. Why most women should hold on to their men than focusing on Nigerian men like us is that there is an idea of patriotism. Patriotism simply means you have to do something to support your nation. In the idea of supporting your nation, these are part of the commitment you do for your nation. And trust me, I haven't said you shouldn't date Nigerian men. No. Whenever I'm saying it, I'm re-emphasizing. I'm not saying you shouldn't date Nigerian men. We would love to date you, but do not make it a trending subject. Do not make it go viral. Do not demonize your men just to be with the Nigerian men. Because some of us will just come, take things, and go. And then, when you stimulate anger within the heart of your men, when you stimulate anger into the heart of your men, and then your men get disappointed, at the end of the day, Nigerian men did not get married to you, and you want to fall back to your men, then you are going to say your men are abusive, your men are controlling, your men are angry with you. These are the things, because majority of you took it upon yourself. Some of you will come on social media and demonize your men. Let me say this. If Nigerian women are going around demonizing Nigerian men, do you think you would have that same respect for us? Yes, Nigerian women will say, we want men that have money. Simple. That's what Nigerian women will say. They will say, we like men that have money. And any Nigerian man can have money. And regardless, some of them who says that, oh, if you did not have 5 million, we are not going to date you. Some of them don't mind if you have 5,000 naira in your account. They will date you. But our women don't go around demonizing us. Now, I'm not saying there are no exceptions, but it's not a trending subject. Most of these Western people who make decisions, most of the South African, most of the African countries who appreciate Nigerian men, you guys are doing it at the expense of demonizing your men. And that is the problem. You are making it trending. And so you begin to impact every other young lady to tell them that you are not living a good life because you are not dating a Nigerian man. We are not your savior. We are not the Alpha and Omega. We are not the one to deliver you to make your life better. Simple. So patriotism is the idea of you supporting your nation. Do not forget that you have a nation. You want to leave your country and come to our country to give birth. Now, do you mean that all the women in your country should navigate and find their ways to come to Nigeria? And so who is going to repopulate your country? You also, as women, have your duties. The fifth one, family acceptance. Family acceptance. What do I mean by family acceptance? An average Nigerian man might be confident in himself, might know his right and his wrong, might have been able to succeed in his life. But there is this, will I call it, I don't know if I'll call it a sickness. I don't know if I'll call it a cultural thing, that sometimes most Nigerian men love their mother so much. They love their parents so much, and they are obedient to their parents. And so, regardless of your uku, regardless of how big your bum bum is, your figure eight, and you come to Nigeria, sometimes if their parents did not accept you, most men may not accept you. There are some who put their parents on a pedestal, and it is part of African culture and traditions. Sometimes when they see that their mother did not like you, their father did not like you, their sisters did not like you, their brother did not really like you, they wouldn't like you. So you also need to know, an average Nigerian woman who is dating a Nigerian man knows that even if the family did not like her, she can try with time to convince them, because she already understands the traditions and culture. And she would learn along the line. Some of them can convince, but you that you come from a different country and you think you want to come, when you receive hatred from the family, would you be able to stand it? These are part of the things you need to consider when you're dating a Nigerian man. Fifth, sixth, similar historical background, which is about retaining your history. When a Ghanaian woman makes with a Nigerian man, she becomes a Nigerian. When a South African woman, when you mix with a Nigerian man, you become a Nigerian. When a Western woman mix and find herself with a Nigerian man, she becomes a Nigerian. The only problem is that most of them will not become Nigerian. You know why? Because Western women always do, I am equal, I'm educated, I'm too civilized, I'm this. And that's the reason why Nigerian man will not be committed to them. It's simple. It's either our way, it's either the highway, it's either our way or the highway. It's simple. You need to be aware of what the Nigerian man stands for. Don't just think because you see the attributes you love, don't think that he doesn't have principles. Nigerian men values their principle, they value their culture, and they value their tradition. And let me say this, when you have children, as a South African woman who loves Nigerian man, when you have children, your history automatically changes into a Nigerian history. I repeat it in case my network did not let you hear me correctly. When you date or when you get married to Nigerian, your history kind of change in the life of your children. 2 generations from there, it becomes a Nigerian. So you need to understand that if you truly love your nation and you want to be patriotic to your nation, you have to support your men. I'm not saying don't date Nigerian men, but I'm saying do not make it a trending subject. I keep emphasizing on it. The next one is less risk of to exploitation. Less risk to exploitation. What do I mean by less risk to exploitation? Sometimes if some of your men does something, you guys can easily arrest your men, take them to prison, fight, and you guys can find a way to settle it. When you deal with a wrong Nigerian guy and the guy is just passing by, understand that there is a chance that he can exploit you too. Some of them, not all of them. He can exploit you. And so all those downgrading that you were downgrading your men, when Nigerian man show you pepper, and trust me, it is worse. This is how Nigerian men does something. I want to teach you people how Nigerian men actually operate with women. If a Nigerian man sees you disrespect another man in your culture, the Nigerian man cannot take you serious. If a Nigerian man sees that you are proud against your men and you disrespect your men, a Nigerian man will try to teach you a lesson. Is he going to do whatever he wants to do? Population? Yes. Is he going to? But if he has any opportunity to open your brain, to teach you what the world cannot teach you, he will teach you. You will call it exploitation, but that's the reality. Nigerian men do not, we don't subdue ourselves to the idea that a woman would, insult every other person and then you want to see us to be special. We think that when you are doing it, it is a matter of time you are going to do the same thing to us. Now, matter of you to see us finish. So we do not appreciate that. So risk of exploitation, most men in your country might not be able to exploit you, but some men in Nigeria might be able to exploit you. That is a possibility. Not all of them, but some of them can. Then the last one I am going to touch on is avoiding stereotypes from our women. Avoiding stereotypes from our Nigerian women. You see, this particular one I say, that's what I'm going to use to summarize for today. But I'm going to go a little bit, I wouldn't go that deep, but I will go a little bit deeper. You see, most Western women who complains that they come to Africa and they are not being welcomed to Africa and they are being judged, most of those women are basically having those challenges with Nigerian or African women. Hello, Creed. Thanks for joining. Most of the women in different cultures or in the Western world or in Europe, or most of those people who come to Nigeria or come to Africa and they say that they are not being fully welcome, they are not talking about the men, they are talking about the women of the culture of that land. And why? Some of our women are like, we have few men and we are still trying to have relationship with our men, and you want to come from another country to take our men from us, and you want to prove that you have money than us, and you think you can use because of money to take our men from us. Most of them could consider this and they will be upset. And trust me, hey, if you think Nigerian men are tough, try Nigerian women. They are tougher. So you also need to be aware of the fact that if you want to come to Nigeria and you want to date a Nigerian man, there might be the stereotype from the women. So most of these things are what you should consider. And then if you have this full understanding, you would say, okay, the relationship I'm having with a Nigerian man, how far am I willing to go with these individuals? That is the most important thing. Keep your culture, keep your traditions. I'm not saying you shouldn't date Nigerian men, but I'm saying don't make it a subject to the world that any woman, a South African woman who is not dating a Nigerian woman is a failure. Don't make it that way. A Western woman who is not dating a Nigerian woman is a failure. Don't make it that way. Please don't put fight. We have been fighting war. Men and men have been fighting war long time ago. And we have been fighting war because of women. Please, women, don't cause more problem. We are not willing to die now. Salam alaikum wa alaikum salam. Kumaya hadan. I think I've been able to make some points that actually make sense. If it doesn't make sense, I'm sorry I did not make sense for you. But I know exactly what me I'm saying. Because they call me the man of thoughts, the man that can sit and be thinking. I wrestle with my thoughts. Oh, who that truth? You are busting my bubble. You are busting my bubble. I wish I can credit you with $2 for for chatting. Don't break the ground while appreciating the sky. Bam. What other way can I describe? Every story I have said for since Genesis to Revelation, who the truth just said it with few sentences. So that is exactly our message. How I wish, how I wish that most people who watch me live are showing thumbs up, we're supporting, and we can let these things go outside so that people can learn. Don't ignorantly cause commotion into our life. Nigerian men, we have our struggles too. We love our women, we love other women, but we wouldn't appreciate the idea of you demonizing your women, your men, and putting us on the pedestal. No, we don't like it. Regardless, see, there's a beautiful thing about Nigerian. You praise us or not, you appreciate us or not, you sing our praises or not, we know exactly who we are. It is because of we Nigerians. That's why they sing the song. I know what God says I am. When it says I am, what He says I'm at. I know who I am. I know who I am. In fact, I know whom I am. We don't need your praises. Your praises is just only going to be causing commotion. Value your men. Treat your men right. Take care of your men. We Nigerians, when we move out of our country, we are just looking for greener pasture. We are not looking for trouble. So most of the women who are demonizing their women and they are praising Nigerian men in other country, please leave our men alone. Leave us alone to be able to survive. If you like Nigerian men, let it be between you and the man. Don't start coming on social media and start crying and saying, oh, we love Nigerian men. Yeah, we start demonizing. The Nigerian men used to spend money on the club. Nigerian men will buy 3 Heineken. Nigerian men buy alcohol and they buy things for the place. And because of that, you demonize your men. You think your men are nothing. Why not uplift your men's spirits? If there's no one telling you, the villain of truth is going to tell you. And who the truth have said it all. Don't break the ground while appreciating the sky. If you have any opposition to what I have said, if anything I've said does not make any sense, if there's any view you have that contradicts my view, you have the ground. Rusty, you came a little bit late. Oh, Rusty, why now? Why now? Why now? And Rose says that I'm dating a Nigerian man and it's been challenging. And I think it's due to his trauma. But I wouldn't demonize any man because we all have issues. Namaste. Okay. Yeah. And Ron, I really appreciate your view. I really appreciate your view. Sometimes Nigerian men also have their traumas. They have, everyone does. You know, the conversation is based off, yes, we appreciate when people appreciate Nigerian men, but I'm saying do not cause a commotion. Love your men and do not demonize any other man because you're dating a Nigerian man. And I appreciate your view. Rusty has been enjoying himself in another channel. Rusty, You know, if I bring out the Bible now, I can say you are committing adultery. You leave my channel and you went to another channel. Rusty, you have committed adultery. And Ron says, thank you. I would love for you to advise him. All you have to do is, if it is possible, you wanted to make us come together and have little conversation on phone, on WhatsApp. You can have all discussions. You can email you can email me or send or talk to me through WhatsApp. And my phone number is on my about page and the rest of it. So you can chat me up from there. You can also chat me up. I would definitely talk to him. We can talk about what the subject is offline, and then um, let's see the best way we can navigate the whole situation. I really appreciate you, anyone. You are down to earth with the Nigerian guy. That's a great blessing. These are the type of people we want to date the Nigerian people. Those people who love them for who they are, not just loving them because they are trending, the trending subjects. Rusty says the guys gets lots of trolls because of the way he looks. Wait happen. Is he the most ugliest human being on earth? Does he look very funny? Everyone is human according to Credo. Creed says everyone is human, not true. And Ron says, cool, thank you so much. Namaste. We can discuss on any subject that has to do with that. And God is going to guide us. And we'll find a way around it. Might not be a solution, but it might be something that will spark. It can be the catalyst to the solution. Everything begins with conversation. Rossi says he has magnetic hearing aids on his head from a birth defect. He gets proper troll for real. Sorry about that for him. Creed says, don't put different things on people. Don't put different things on people. Creed, you can help us expatiate that so that I can get the message and then I can actually debunk it. Who the truth are you still there, my brother? It's called Joseph Groot. Okay, maybe let me write his channel, Joseph Groot. And I will show my support also. I would say I came through Rusty. Like close. Thank you, Yudi. Because I was trying to ask, what is close? Rusty, because you are one of our good member, you are one of a big brother, I would just summarize everything I've been talking about today. Now, what I've been talking about earlier was, let me just summarize in the next 1 minute. We have been talking about why most people should hold on to their men than gravitating towards Nigerian men. And we talk about the idea that there are cultural similarities. Because you have cultural similarities, you don't have to worship the Nigerian men. Okay, who the truth is there. Thank you very much. You don't have to idolize the Nigerian men while you demonize your men. Because don't make it a trending subject. There's nothing wrong if an individual have a good relationship with Nigerian men and you want to date a Nigerian man. But when you make it a trending subject, making other girls feel like dating their own men means they are not living a good life, and you have to date a Nigerian man basically because some Nigerian men have excessive money and they spread it, and then you begin to demonize your men. These are the reasons why mostly we might start having issues or fracas. And sometimes you would hear that something is the cause of a fight, but you wouldn't know that something is underneath the reason of the fight. So idolize and give respect to your men. If they are the Western men, respect the Western men. If they are the African men, respect your African men. If they are South African, respect the South African. Don't idolize the Nigerian men while you demonize your men. There are many reasons to it. There are patriotic reasons to it. You have to be patriotic to think about your nation. Do you want to destroy your nation just because you want Nigerian men? Do you want to all come to Nigeria and then your nation should not exist? If you are advising every other woman to date Nigerian women who are going to give birth to your own next generation in South Africa, in Black America, in the Western world, in Europe, in Sweden, in Australia, in Canada, you have to respect your men. You have to love your men. It is okay for you to love a Nigerian man. I'm not against you loving Nigerian men, but I'm on the path that you have to be honest and you have to be matured about it, not demonizing those who are dating those people. And that's what the bone of contention is. So we went through a lot. So maybe after we are done, you can also play back some of the conversations. That would be interesting. Protect those who burn our flag. Oh, Maliko Sondaya. Creed says that like color and wealth privilege, the way they look and because of who they are. Let me go back to what don't put different things on people according to Creed. And then he says that like color and wealth privilege, the way they look and because of who they are. Mm. Yes, don't look at the wealth privilege they have because it is not applicable. Some of them might, at the end of the day, exploit you. And if Nigerian men exploit you and is just on a journey and moving on his own path, there's nothing you can do about it. There's nothing. Osh Poppy, the only reason why they came after Osh Poppy was stinkingly rich, making a lot of money. And his fraudulent was on a different scale. But an average Nigerian guy would just do you and move away. So I'm not saying Nigerian men stand as that. I'm saying that there are some of them who are cool, but don't demonize your men. Lubaton. We've been here for over 1 hour plus. I appreciate everyone who has been joining me today. Please, if you haven't subscribed, do subscribe to the channel. Thank you, Creed. Thank you, Rusty, for coming late. But I understand. I'm definitely going to check on Joseph Groots. Joseph Groots. I'm going to be checking Joseph Groots and to show my support also. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Who the Truth. Please, if there's any other thing that we really need to touch on, maybe in our past conversation or anything that is popping up in anybody's mind, and you want us to dissect it and have few conversations on it, please, the floor is open. Anything. Tomorrow, I have a subject I'll be talking about, and one of them has to do with why you are not supposed to let men to see you in your labor room. That's African men should not be in labor room whenever people want to give birth. There's that particular conversation we're going to talk about it. Why men have to go through pain and why pain in women makes them evil and why pain in men makes them kind of sympathize and empathize with a lot of people in life. And so why we don't like women being traumatized, because trauma kind of affect women and they become bitter and evil. Why for men, our bad experience kind of makes shape us in one way to become good, and we don't want other people to experience those things. So we are going to be expatiating on that conversation tomorrow by God's grace. There are many aspects to it. You've seen the things that they do. Creed, you can help us expatiate on it a little bit. Please, any other conversation, any question, everything is going to be welcomed. I'm giving about 2 minutes. If there's any conversation we can touch on before we proceed for today, and yes, we can spend a lot of time. But if there's none, then we are going to be rounding up for the day. You know me, I don't have time. I can tell you I have closed for now. In the next 2 hours, you will see me on live again. That's who I am. Somebody will say that's who I am. I really appreciate today's conversation that we had in the noontime when we talk about money and the rest of it. I saw various insights and the rest of it. And I think that at the end of the day, it's like it points the direction that West Africans still need to protect the ways we view life. And we hope to see um, certain areas of the Western culture also update themselves to certain degree because life is not majorly about capitalism and money and the rest of it. We understand it is important because when you find yourself in certain situations or in certain organizations or country, it becomes a norm to taxing and the rest of it. But Constitution, Andy, I am doing well. This is it. So that's the reason why I was saying, you people should be doing thumbs up, thumbs up, thumbs up, so that other people will be able to receive the notification. Now, Constitution Andy and Rusty will have to start from the beginning of the video. You know, you can clip to almost 10 minutes when we started the conversation, the full conversation, because for over 10 minutes we were just playing around. But after 10 minutes, the conversation began to make sense, became a very sensible conversation. And I know that some people can make comments even after the whole conversation, and I'm still going to respond to you. But I like the idea of we speaking as brothers. It seems as if in my mind, this is how my mind works when I see people here. It's like I know most of you, even while I haven't met you in real life. And it seems like I create a technological human real friends, and we speak to a certain degree, and I really appreciate that. It is just, it's a blessing to live in this time. Constitution, Andy, Canary King, Rusty, Who the Truth, Creed, many. I can't even remember all the name. Any Ron who spoke today, and she has been speaking before. A lot of people. I can't even Vishwawadzi, Vanarikli Quintero, all this set of people. Meeting you guys on live is truly and absolutely a blessing to me. And I appreciate it. So with that being said, let me round up for today. I have a few things, I have to play with the kids a little bit, jump around. Did that Indian woman come back? Kavita, I'm still expecting. I'm going to check my mail the moment I'm done to see. I met with a guy today and I said he should try to reach out to me. An Indian guy, Visraj something, Visraja. Yes, I spoke to a person about Visraja, and I said probably can Vata or something like that when she reach out, so he can also talk to me, so we can look at the possibilities of reaching out and assisting her in one way or the other. We will meet in the flesh one day. I will recap on the convoy and hopefully catch your next stream. With that being said, I appreciate everything. Russell says, I hope she was lying. In all honesty, but sadly, it's the norm in our country. I don't know. All right. All right. Thank you, everyone. Thank you for joining today. Hope to see you soon. Adios, amigos. Bye bye for now.